welcome back to Music Cosmos. I realized I never gave an introduction to myself, so this is about getting to know me and the music I've listened to. And through the years, I go through different phases, but I listen to a lot of stuff, and I'll go back to and listen to stuff that I discovered years ago, so it can be interchangeable what I listen to now. So probably when I was about 11, the Game was by the Queen was my real first music love, even though had grown up listening from my parents to Simon and Garfunkel, stuff of that era. And by the way, I do love that era, especially the more hard rock, psychedelic music. But when I was probably about 15, when I started buying albums. And my first one was Kiss. It was my first big obsession. And quickly after that came hard rock of Black Sabbath. Green Label, by the way. Judas Priest. That's what I was listening to. And I also listened to like popular at the time Motley Crue and various other bands that probably aren't that I didn't really listen to much after, but some of them are really good and lasted through time. Then after that, listened to a lot of hard rock, Led Zeppelin, and all the classics as I was soaking in the new music of the early 80s. After the hard rock, I quickly got into classic rock. I got obsessed with the Stones and started listening to them through the mid-80s, through late 80s. By that, I listened to Jimi Hendrix, got obsessed, Kinks, Who, got a lot of their stuff, listened to many, up until about 93, and then I got into jazz, because I love the improv and the rhythms, and the old vocalists too, because I really like the old analog sound and of the 50s and 60s. The biggest ones were Miles Davis, of course, electric that I love, and also the early classics like In a Silent Way and Kind of Blue. John Coltrane, Love Supreme, of course, and My Favorite Things, among others. Of course, Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, excellent. So I went through that until about 95, 96, and I started branching into progressive rock. And from then I got deep into King Crimson, Yes, Jethro Tull, even though I had been listening to them a little bit earlier on, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and King Crimson Red. I went through the whole King Crimson, all these albums. I picked up all the albums and was brushed up on my early classic progressive rock. And from there on, I started looking into the older, harder to find classic rock, such as Eloy, Camel, show that again, and Caravan. They've all got an extensive catalog, and there's in this more like Gong, and anyways, tons. And so I got into that. I listened to that for probably about 15 years. Like 2017, I was just digging all the old classic rock, jazz fusion, like John McLaughlin, Vishnu was kind of in that same group to me, listening time. And fusion, I love fusion. Pretty much all the classic bands like Return to Forever, and I'll get, as I do stories on each in more detail, I can expand on that. So I did that till about 2019, and then I got into the new psychedelia, like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. So at this point, I abandoned metal. I always listen to my very favorites. But anyways, the OCs, I listened to them probably till about 2023. And then after that, I visited my metal roots and went back and actually got into power metal. And Helloween, I love this. I had it back in the 80s, but I sold it. Anyways, much better appreciation of them now. Other bands such as Blind Guardian and Camelot. So that's what I've been listening to the last few years. And right now I listen to all the previous stuff, but now I'm getting back again into the progressive rock. So even deeper, and some of the newer. I've been getting into a lot of the newer acts too, which I'll do a story on and go over modern prog of the last 10-15 years. So, and that's about a very quick history. And this is my music room. You can see CDs over there. I got records behind the curtain. And I got a Marantz over here. And Paradigm speaker, Marantz receiver. Record player. I'll show you that better. Right here. I also have a record player is a red Riga P3. And I love it. Anyways, I love almost all the formats. I mainly listen to record, vinyl, Blu-ray, surround, and CDs. That's my main thing, but I would get real bit too expensive for me at this time, I think. So thank you. I hope you learn more about me and are interested in future reviews, unboxing, and just talks about the types of music in more detail. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for joining. Bye. Signing off.